this will speak to what I've been saying about you before, is like you work with both these guys, right? Even maybe Zepeda and like a little bit more so, I guess. More,
yeah.
I don't know if that's accurate.
I do. I work with him more.
Yeah, and then Regis as well, but I mean, they're going to fight each other.
Yeah.
Right? For a world title.
Yeah.
Right? So here you have two guys, both excellent fighters, right? That you know a whole lot about both of them. And now they're going to fight each other, and you work with Zepeda like more, right? So you'd say, but I mean, I am aware of the situation, but I would like you to speak on that situation and what do you, because that fight's coming up.
So I'm choosing to remove myself from the fight.
Yeah.
For me, my pride is my work. My pride is my job and how well I can do that job. And I would never be able to do that job to the fullest without being able to not look at myself in the mirror.
Right.
You know, I know them both. I have a grip on the struggles that they have, and I would just, it's not in me to be like, hey, he's gonna have trouble here.
No, I get it.
You know, and you know, it was bothering me a lot. You know, it bothered me a lot when I would tell people I'm bowing out, and people go, oh, smart move. You know, it's like, it's not a smart move. Like, there's a lot of money that I could make from this. You know, I'm desperate to have a world champion.
Right.
And one of them is going to be one,
Right.
and I could contribute to that.
Right.
But at the end of the day, like, and there's no guarantee that, I had no guarantee that, like, if I said no to helping either of them, that the next fight they might just be like, kick rocks.
Yeah.
You know. But for me, like I go to sleep at night happy. You know.
Yeah.
Like, my integrity is more than money, than accolades and all that stuff. So.
No, that to me speaks volumes of like your character, and that's the type of people that I want to be around myself, you know, like.
Me too.
Because, you know, there's so many the other way, especially in our sport, like, that'll just take a job for money, or, you know, throw somebody under the rug to take their job and take less than what they're supposed to, per se, or they wouldn't even, would use the advantages they know about the other guy.
Correct.
To help, you know, whoever they decided to work with. So, like, man, that's, I think that's incredible. And by making decisions like that, like, it's taking the long road, right? You're taking the long road, but that's going to give you so much more benefits. I mean, money's cool, and money comes and goes, and you're going to do just fine, man. Like, you're doing good, and you're going to do just fine. That's like short-sighted, right? To think just money, but to take that long road is going to bring you, I know in my heart, is going to bring you to even better, like, as a person, as a trainer, everywhere. So, like, I commend you. And I think when people do say smart decision, if they genuinely thought it through, it's because they're thinking like that, right?
Yes, right.
Right? They're not, it's the smart decision if you're thinking about money. No, of course it's not a smart decision. Or like you said, oh, I might lose this guy that, you know, who wins or who loses, you know, I might lose them both.
That's actually great. That's a nice perspective that you have, that you just shared with me. And that makes me think more positively about when people say that to me.
Yeah, I think if they're thinking about it the right way.
The right way, correct.
That's, and who knows what everybody's thinking, but I think, you know, if you know people, you people that you trust and you feel have your best interests in mind, that if they think about it like that, hopefully they mean it that way, and I think they do, you know. But again, I'm impressed, man. Like, that's a very impressive move to me, you know. Like I said, I don't want to keep, like, you know, stroking your ego, but like, I think the world of you as a trainer, and that made me think of you even like in a higher light when AJ told me this. So AJ's a good friend of both of ours. He manages a lot of some of the fighters that Julian trains, that I've trained in the past, other fighters too. And he's a great guy, and I'm sure he'll be on here sometime too. But yeah, he told me about that, and I said, man, there's more reason I want to talk to Julian. You know, like, I love that. You know, I mean, I'm sure both those trainers would love to have. I mean, both those fighters would love to have you, and I'm sure they both solicited you and asked you.
It's funny because, like, you know, Zepeda was supposed to fight for the WBC against Josh Taylor, and I was all for it.
Right.
You know,
yeah, that would have been better, right?
It would have been way better. I was like so pumped for it, and then I guess he's getting married, so he backed out and
Taylor.
He vacated Taylor.
Yeah.
Then the next person in line was Jose Ramirez, and I was like, I actually worked with Zepeda on the first one that I thought he won.
Right.
And for me, I was like, oh man, this is even better.
Yeah,
like revenge in a way too. Like we're gonna beat him for sure. He'll beat him, you know. And then he's getting married. So then like they just kept going down the list.
You're like, oh no, I know where this is
man, it
going.
kept creeping to Regis. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
And it got to them, and it was getting like prolonged. And then I remember I was at my friend's house, and I get a text from Regis's manager, and it just says, I'm sorry. And I was like, sorry for what? You know, like as I'm reading it, I'm sorry. Then boom, Regis Prograis is calling you, you know. And so he's like, hey bro, like the fight's happening with Zepeda and da-da-da. And he's like, I know you kind of briefed already, but what do you want to do?
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, like I got love for both of you. I'm stepping away.
Yeah. And you just knew right out the block.
Yeah.
You had already probably played with it in your mind before.
I didn't even need to play with it actually.
I'm saying even before the fight, like you knew this was always a possibility.
Yes. And actually they met.
Yeah.
I trained Regis, and right after Regis was done, Zepeda came, and they met and they shook hands at Brick House.
Yeah.
And there was like electricity, you know? I could see, I was like, oh,
well,
this is a crash course.
I'm not going to ask you for a prediction. I mean, that would be disrespectful.
I haven't told anyone anything what I think.
That would be disrespectful. I wouldn't ask you for that.
Beautiful fight, though.
But yeah, I say the same. You know, I'm excited to watch.